Welcome back to News 46. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue's Chief Scott Lewis describes a two-vehicle collision in the intersection of Highway 160 and 372.
Just around a dinner hour on Sunday evening, there was a three-vehicle accident occurred at 160 and 372. All vehicles sustained significant damage. However, there were no serious injuries. One of the challenges is that everyone's preparing to attend the Pahrump Nugget fireworks, so we had to make quick fashion of getting those vehicles removed from the area so that traffic patterns could be maintained.
They collided with each other and then had a secondary collision into a pole?
That's my understanding. That one of the light standards that's located on the island there at 372 was impacted by the collision. So two vehicles obviously collided, took it into a third and into a light standard.
All right, and then that light is okay, right? The signal too as well?
It's my understanding that the traffic control devices were all intact.
All right, and then NHP, I'm assuming, was investigating that.
NHP has the investigation, yes.
One person was injured this morning as a result of a two-vehicle crash.
Dispatch reported a multi-vehicle accident at Irene and Blag. Upon arrival, we found a two-vehicle accident. There was no entrapment. However, there was an injured party who was the driver of one of the vehicles, had self-extricated, was laying down on the ground nearby. Medic 5 was assigned to patient care. Rescue 15 arrived and also secured the fluid spills as a result of the accident.
And here's this week's court report.
In this week's court report, an inmate referred to as a habitual criminal who has 5 open cases in district court and is facing a handful of felony burglary and drug-related charges is scheduled to be released tomorrow. Alexander Michael Cook will be released to his parents Wednesday morning for transport to an inpatient treatment program. Cook remained in custody after his arraignment on June 27th, during which time he entered a plea of guilty to the charges in each of his 5 cases. Cook pleaded guilty to burglary, attempted theft, conspiracy to commit robbery, throwing a substance at or willfully damaging a bike or vehicle, and unlawful use of a controlled substance. Cook has previously been charged with possession of drug paraphernalia, a misdemeanor, back on December 29th, and assault with a deadly weapon back on December 23rd. All involved court parties have agreed to hold off sentencing while the defendant attends his agreed-upon inpatient treatment program. Cook's sentencing for 4 of his 5 cases is now set for February 27th, 2017. Cook also has a status check set for that date regarding his drug charge, which could be dismissed. The state had moved to dismiss Cook's drug charge during his arraignment, but the court declined and will wait until post-sentencing. The man accused of armed robbery at a Green Valley grocery on East Highway 372, who had his case take an unusual route in the court system, has now made his first appearance back in Justice Court after his case was dismissed in District Court. Dominic Arcangelo Coco appeared in Justice Court on June 27th and has now been appointed Nathan Gent to represent him. Coco's case was dismissed in District Court without prejudice on May 25th, but now he could face a new set of charges in the lower Justice Court. At issue, Coco told the state that he did not commit the crime he's accused of, and then he supposedly identified the real alleged perpetrator who robbed Green Valley Grocery's cash register. After making those statements, Coco got slapped with an aiding and abetting charge. Coco was already facing 2 felony charges, including robbery with use of a deadly weapon and burglary while in possession of a firearm. The district court judge said the state can now file all those charges in one case if they choose. Witnesses say the robber was wearing a mask, therefore Coco could not be positively ID'd as the suspect. Despite questions regarding guilt, Coco remains in custody and now has a pre-trial hearing scheduled for October 25th in Justice Court. This has been your court report. I'm Eunette Gentry for News 46.
Thanks so much, Eunette. Storms knocked out power to Valley Electric Association member owners in the Pahrump area late Friday and early Saturday. Service was restored within an hour to nearly half of those affected. Lightning, heavy rains, and winds, some gusting to 46 miles per hour, caused 18 separate outages, affecting 1,782 member owners along the edges of Valley Electric Association service area in the Pahrump Valley. 4 primary lines were downed, 3 involving trees, 1 transformer had to be replaced, even 1 restaurant road sign on Highway 160 was struck by lightning. Chief Lewis explains the calls for emergency services.
So within the course of that storm that was fast moving, produced high winds, some people had recorded winds up to 78 miles per hour that struck them, forcefully right through the center of town. Actually, the north and the center part sustained significant damage. But just to give you an idea, we had 15 fire-related responses within approximately 45 to 50-minute time period, and including down power lines, brush fires, the accident we discussed a little bit earlier, the road debris, materials, power lines down, materials going up into the power line. So it's a significant issue, handled in a timely fashion. Valley Electric, hats off to them. They were out there with us for hours afterward in a cleanup mode.
Even the next morning.
Even in the next morning, yeah, absolutely. We had a significant number of resources that were available going into the next day, much like you described, including the accidents that happened very early that next morning.
And during this time when you're having these brush fires and utility issues, was there anybody that had any injuries or any delayed?
We didn't actually have any delays. We had to minimize our speed and not drive our headlights. And the wind conditions did cause some damage to our apparatus. It blew a hose bed cover off one of our trucks responding to a call. And it also gave us a flat tire on our inner rear duals on our engine that, from the road debris as well. So Saturday was kind of fix up some of our apparatus as well.
But you guys were able to stop some of those brush fires from even spreading in those high winds.
Yeah, it was a twofold factor. One was us getting there, and the second part is the torrential rains that followed those initial winds and lightning quickly put out the remainder of the fires.
What's that like to work in that kind of weather?
It's situational awareness for us. It's making sure everybody's operating safely and to ensure that we don't take any unnecessary risks.
It was a crazy weekend for storms.
Yes, it is.
It was. And we're in that monsoon season,
That's
so
right.
definitely keep all your stuff tied down and take care during those storms.
Yes.
We want to report that the Nye County Sheriff's Office has responded to what they are calling a suspicious package in Tonopah. That's all the details we have at this time. We'll have more on tomorrow night's broadcast.
Yes.
And we're going to have your weather right after this break.